Good evening to you, Brett. The Secretary of State is here in Jerusalem as a major offensive is getting underway in Gaza City. We had the opportunity to sit down with him right after he spent 3 hours meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu earlier today. He laid out for us what an end to this war in Gaza looks like for the Trump administration.
Every single hostage is released, all 48, including those that are deceased. Hamas no longer exists as an armed group that's threatening Israel. If it's not going to end that way, then it's going to have to end through a military operation. And I think the Israelis themselves would prefer it not be through a military operation.
President Trump says he's unhappy with the Israelis' surprise strike on Doha. You yourself said that it could derail future negotiations.
It was an Israeli decision, and the consequences are owned by Israel.
So Qatar is convening today this emergency session with its Gulf allies to come up with a response to those strikes.
I don't think it's a mystery that they're not happy about what happened. I think our message is irrespective of that, and that's one thing we need to separate that from the fact that no matter what, we still have Hamas, we still have hostages, and we still have a war.
One thing that comes next, at least for the Israelis, sir, is they are talking about their new plans to move ahead with annexation of the West Bank. Is that something the Trump administration is supportive of?
Well, we're not commenting on that now, other than to say that we warned all these European capitals and other countries that if they went ahead with this Palestinian state recognition, which really is symbolic more than anything else, they're responding to their own domestic politics, we warned that there would be a response to that.
There have been 2 Russian drone incursions into Poland and then Romania this week. It appears President Putin is emboldened after his meeting with President Trump in Alaska.
Well, I wouldn't say he's emboldened after the meeting. I would say that this is an example of why this war, the president thinks, needs to end.
So how much longer will the president give Putin before he moves forward with the sanctions that have been threatened?
He's not going to go around and artificially announce a time frame. There are still countries in Europe that are buying Russian products, including Russian oil. What the president has challenged our European partners is to impose the sanctions themselves that they're asking us to impose.
Question on Charlie Kirk. Your deputy has been calling out on social media foreigners who he says are celebrating, glorifying Charlie's murder. Do you have any plans to restrict visa access or even revoke visas?
Yeah, and we should not be giving visas to people who are going to come to the United States and do things like celebrate the murder, the execution, the assassination of a political figure. We should not. And if they're already here, we should be revoking their visa.
Well, Secretary Rubio told us before we departed D.C. to come on this trip that he plans to attend Charlie's funeral back home. But between now and then, he has got a tremendous amount of work to do. Tomorrow morning, he's going to leave Israel. He flies to Qatar, where he's going to try and smooth things over with America's Gulf allies. Brett?
Jillian Turner traveling with the Secretary in Jerusalem. Jillian, thank you. You can watch Jillian Turner's full interview with Secretary of State Marco Rubio on FoxNews.com.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.